Hi there, it's Nick Dutch here, and yep, I've got my tarot reading hat on rather than my normal, golfing cap, which I do for, general inquiries, explanations, and videos, and the rest of it, for a very good reason, and that is that YouTube user ShadeToSun has actually requested and purchased a tarot reading from me, and has put up a video on YouTube, which is currently set to private, but I told him that he can now set it to public, okay, asking me a question about my tarot reading style. And his question was essentially how much of the answer comes from your own personal experience and is advice, as opposed to how much of it comes out of the reading. Okay? Which I think is actually a very valid and important question for anyone out there who's actually thinking of doing tarot for fun, or even as a job like I do. From the outside, I don't think that the distinction is quite that stark or black and white. I just don't think so. Because when someone has asked me a question and I take my cards and I lay them out, let's say I just do a chronological spread, 6 cards from left to right, and I'm thinking about the question, and I've got these patterns in front of me, these symbols, okay? What I'm doing is I'm just looking over the symbols, and because of the question, because of the symbols, thoughts will start to be, generated inside my mind. And I'll be drawing some kind of like crazy connections between the symbols and the ideas. And that will stir up memories of things that I've experienced. So let's say a job I used to have, which I didn't like. A person I used to know who had certain personalities or characteristics that grated against me in a certain way, which had some kind of connection to the inquirer's question and life situation. So what happens is that your whole life experience becomes like a library. Okay? I mean, a good friend once said to me, Nick, you're actually very lucky. I mean, I've been through like lots of different jobs and lots of different lifestyles, and I've had like loads of different incarnations in the same life. And he says, Nick, you're really lucky because you've had a very varied life. And that varied life has become my biggest asset, because I've seen an awful lot, I've known an awful lot of different varieties of situations and people. I've had really hard times, I've had really good times, and it's all there, okay? There's like a mass of experience. So memories get stirred as a result of the questions which are asked, and of the situation, and of all the symbols and all the rest of it, which I spent so much of my time learning, okay, that it becomes an exercise of psychology, yes. And I do then find myself advising, because a lot of the time people are not asking for a particular answer from a particular source. They're looking for an answer, and they're looking for the right answer. And I'm also under moral obligation, the way I see it, not the way the vast majority of people out there see it, but the way that I see it, to try my hardest to say something which is for the inquirer's best good. Which could be one variety of answer or another variety of answer, taking into account where they're coming from, and their quality of reasoning and understanding, and what is the best thing that I can say which can help them. And it's this which makes it so that after a period of time, which could be 6 months, 9 months, 2 years, 5 years, I do get people calling me up and saying, Nick, I spoke to you a while ago, I had a reading with you. If you hadn't said what you'd said, I'd have lost a house, wife, child, whatever it was, which basically makes me feel good. It makes me realize that me being this, person living in a converted car garage, okay, just with a pack of cards and a telephone line, is actually doing some good in the world. Yes, I do provide people with advice from my experience as well. It depends upon the situation, the circumstances, the question itself, and the energy of the person, or the personality of the person who's inquiring. Okay, it's a combination of so many different things. I mean, this job can be regarded as being life coaching. And in some ways it is. But not in all ways. It can be regarded as being entertainment, and in some ways it is, but not in all ways. It can be regarded as being tarot reading and mysticism and spiritualism in some ways, but not in all ways. And it's a very, very complex job. It's a very, very complex human job. And your knowledge of the human animal has got to be very good. Not just academically. I've got this really good friend of mine, and he spends all his time studying psychology. Alright, because he thinks the answers to life, the universe, and everything is in all the experiments done by Milgram, Piaget, and all that kind of stuff. And that's only a small part of it. The rest of it happens on the more empathic level, the more creative thought level. Okay, and of course, anything else which could possibly appear here, which is basically what makes it all really rather strange and unusual. Okay, I mean, if you think about it, some people would call what I do witchcraft, but they would not call it witchcraft in a nice way, would they? They would call it witchcraft in a nasty way. But the origin of the word witch is that of wisdom. Okay, wisdom is not knowledge. Okay, you can have knowledge of how to repair a car engine, fine. But the wisdom comes from experience, from having made, a few mistakes, having learned from them, having built up a better reservoir of information about, let's say, car engines in that particular example, or or motorcycles, or whatever the heck it is. The wisdom is different. Okay, and in my case, it's a creative use of my experience to help other people, and to know what is the right thing to say as opposed to the wrong thing to say when I'm on the phone or dealing via internet chat or email with my clients. It is complicated, and I don't think it is something which could be educated into someone very quickly or very easily. You've got to build this up, okay? You've got to build it up, and you've got to use your brain, and you've got to use your empathy and your compassion and your wisdom and your humanity, and you've also got to manage your own expectations. Because if I'm feeling unhappy, okay, let's say on one particular day I've had some bad experiences or whatever, I'm feeling unhappy, I don't log on, because I know that my own state of mind will affect what will come out in the readings. Okay, I've got to know myself. I've got to do my own bit of meditation so I can calm down. I can try and be centered and objective, which can be hard because every single day I've got people throwing their problems at me. Okay, I just come off the phone with this lady who was having this intense problems in the workplace, and I mean seriously intense problems in the workplace. And for me, it rattled me, so I had to log off, take a deep breath, have another cup of tea, maybe go for a walk in the garden, and come back to reality prior to getting on with the rest of my work. So, ShadeToSun, I don't think I can give you a black and white answer, because we're not dealing with a black and white problem, are we? We're dealing with something which is creative, complex, human. And humans themselves don't work in a very mechanical way. I mean, some people try to, but, we don't. And so a bit of knowledge of everything can really, really